a man from Saltburn who's just finished a 42-day, 2,400-mile cycle ride around the coastline of the UK. Why? Because he wanted to discover why life is great, do something different, and help a friend along the way. Let's talk to the man himself, Kendall Aitken. Good morning, Kendall.
Hi there.
So did you discover then why life is great?
It's a funny way of putting it. It wasn't directly to sort of discover life is great. It was a sort of combination of reasons. It was to help somebody. I had this friend who broke his back, and I felt like I really wanted to help, but I didn't quite know what to do. So I kind of thought I'd try and raise some money, and then I thought to myself, well, I believe that when raising money, it's a really great thing to really enjoy what I'm doing as well. And I knew about the sort of Land's End John O'Groats thing, and I wanted to do something different and really stretch myself. And I work with positive philosophy and sort of thinking my way into a positive spaces with I work with freedombridge.co.uk, and we try and think positively about life. And people have sometimes said, yeah, you know, this is all very well as a concept, but how does it work in real life? And I kind of wanted to show that taking even a really big challenge, things can work. So I took a really big challenge, about as big as I could think of at the time, which was to cycle around all of England. So it was going to raise money, but it was also going to discover whether, you know, the positive philosophy, happiness ideas which I follow are more than just a concept, and sort of demonstrate that they are, really.
So did it work?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of stayed positive through the whole thing, through you know, all the weather and so on, some pretty incredible storms. However, I was extremely lucky with the weather that we've had, so, you know, I think that fortune favours the brave thing. I think there's a lot of that.
So you went right round the coastline of the UK then?
Yeah, up from Saltburn, up to Scotland, and then across the borders, actually through Scotland in that bit, and then back down the other side, through the lakes, past Wales, down to the bottom of Cornwall, and then back up the other side.
Yeah, so having been around the lot then, which is the best bit?
Ooh. I wasn't particularly looking to favour Cornwall, because everybody keeps saying to me how great it was, but I had fantastic weather there, and I was pretty blown away by it, for natural beauty. And it's interesting because I got to experience stuff which I think only millionaires would normally get to experience. Because I was wild camping all the way, I got to kind of sit on beaches that you have to be a millionaire to have a house on down in Cornwall, and, you know, have views which only really, really rich people can get, really. So I feel particularly fortunate to have been able to sort of experience those without having to be a millionaire.
So on every single one of the 42 nights then, you were camping?
Pretty much. I had 2 or 3 nights where it poured with rain, and a couple of times I knocked on people's doors, so I got kind of offered places to stay undercover. Probably only about twice, I think, I had that experience. But it was lovely always if somebody did offer me a place to stay.
So did you get lonely, Kendall, or did you find yourself?
No, you see, I've done a lot of travel on my own. You know, I've spent a lot of years, I'm 45 now, and from the age of about 17, I went to South America on a one-way trip without a return ticket, and stayed for over a year travelling on my own. And I think that kind of beginnings of a life of travelling, as it were, has set me up I don't really understand this idea of loneliness. I think it's kind of a little bit born out of people's own fear, and I don't really seem to feel the fear when I'm on my own. I met a really, really big guy once who was about 6'4", very muscular, on a beach, and I pointed out where my tent was and where I was sleeping that night. He said, "Oh, I couldn't do that. You know, I'd be scared that someone would come along in the night and attack me." You know, and I'm only 5'6", 5'7", you know, not particularly strong. And I was kind of amazed that this really big, strong guy was worried about someone coming to physically attack him. So
I'll be honest with you, Kendall, I don't think I could cycle 2,400 miles around the UK, but do you believe then that anybody can do anything if they really want to.
Yeah, and I would really challenge you on that idea that you couldn't do it. I really believe that you could do it, and it's actually not that difficult, because most of that game of achieving it is in the head. You know, it's really not about having sort of some amazing body or having amazing fitness. You know, recently there was that guy in the Commonwealth Games who came, what did he come, 11th? And he had, you know, up until the age of 30 had been a smoker and a drinker and a beer belly and everything. And, you know, he was then coming, you know, whatever it was, 11th in the Commonwealth Games in the marathon. So I think a lot of people underestimate how much life really is in the head game. And, you know, with Freedom Bridge, it's all about saying to people, you know, a lot of what you do in life is in understanding how to stay positive. I mean, I found it quite challenging when I started looking at the whole map of England, because it can become quite daunting. You know, a lot of big challenges can be daunting, but if you take them on a kind of daily basis and you stay in a positive frame of mind and you focus on staying positive and recognizing that life works better when you stay positive, then it's really just a kind of daily, hourly, moment to moment actually experience. And once you get into the kind of pattern of thinking that has a constant reminder to stay with appreciation and to sort of push away critical thoughts, then it feels as though, you know, very little can defeat you. I mean, the only thing which really can defeat you is yourself and your own thinking. So even what you just said then, I would sort of challenge you to say,
well,
you know,
probably right. You're probably right, Kendall. I probably could do it.
yeah,
It's a question of just getting your head into the right gear.
exactly.
Congratulations, that is Kendall Aitken, who's just finished a 42-day, 2,400-mile cycle ride around the coastline of the UK.
Little cycle around the country.